Welcome back to a very exciting segment of First Things First. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, the 2023 Pro Bowl MVP, and he's the quarterback that led the Bucs back to the playoffs after Tom Brady left. On behalf of Advance Auto Parts False Starts campaign, Baker Mayfield joins us. Baker, thank you. Two-part question here. One, tell us about your campaign, and two, do you have a Super Bowl prediction ready to go?
I got you. So False Starts Kill Drives campaign we got going on here. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday is a big deal, but the following Sunday is National Car Battery Day. So we've got a little campaign going on that if you register at aapfalsestarts.com and you register there, and if there's one false start during the Super Bowl, then you get a chance to win free car batteries from Advance Auto Parts for life. So
there you go.
Pretty sweet gig you got going on there. All you need is one false start.
I'll count on
some
the
new
Chiefs
guys
for
playing
that.
the Super Bowl.
Jawan
exactly.
Taylor, unfortunately, probably takes care of that. Everyone's going to get that free
it's a lock.
thing.
It's a lock. But I think I got San Fran winning.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
So there we go. It's a
That's
bad
all right.
start.
You know what? That doesn't hurt the
Every time I say it, I feel like the Chiefs are going to win.
Baker, as you can see, I'm in this beautiful jersey. It is your jersey, my man, and I'm wearing it because I was a skeptic when the season started. I don't know if you saw it. I looked at how you played in Carolina. I was like, man, I don't know if Baker's going to do it this year. I thought we might see Kyle Trask later in the season. Congratulations, you proved me wrong, man. So I want to start here. What was the difference between, playing in Carolina, obviously you didn't play your best football, and then this year when you had, a Pro Bowl season?
I mean, it starts top down, how they run the organization, everybody being on the same page, and just how do you win games. And so when you got a lot of voices going on behind the scenes, you're making distractions for your players. You're not putting them in a good position to have success and play free. So for me, getting to Tampa, it was refreshing. Knowing Coach Bowles from the pre-draft interviews when he was with the Jets, knowing what type of guy he was, and him and Jason Light just told me to be myself and be the best version at that. And so that's an empowering feeling as a guy that has been asked to kind of contain who he is as a person, wears his heart on his sleeves a lot. So an empowering thing that they allowed me to do.
So you obviously will have a new offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, but he was with you, briefly when you were with the Rams. Do you expect to be back in Tampa? He said he wants you back. I'm sure you guys have a good relationship. Do you expect to be back there?
I would love to be back. Obviously, the pieces have to fall in the right place. For me to be back, I want Mike back. Want to get some of these guys back that were instrumental in the late run we had in the season. So I love playing there. It got me back to a good headspace and playing football and enjoying it again. So we'll see what happens. But Liam's a great guy. Only around him for 5 games, but know what type of guy he is, know how passionate he is about the game, and then just the system in itself. I think that was important for Tampa to bring in somebody that's running the same system that we had last year. So guys don't have to completely learn a new one and just can hit the ground running.
Let's stay with those 5 games just for a moment, Baker, because during one of the playoff broadcasts, I forget who it was, but someone said on the broadcast that they had talked to you and that you talked glowingly about those 5 games in Los Angeles and about Sean McVay saying, get back to being yourself. You also alluded to in this interview that maybe you were, in previous places told to tamp that down. How influential do you think that month and a half with the Rams was in this season you just had?
I think it was everything. For me, going to L.A., obviously at last-minute notice, but they weren't going to make the playoffs. And for me, it was a 5-game stretch where I could build my resume and take in as much information as possible from guys that have had a lot of success offensively. And so trying to enjoy that and realize that it's not like we're going to make the playoffs, but try and learn each and every day, enjoy it while we're doing it, and push some of these young guys that we had playing alongside.
So going into this season, there were some. The person speaking is one of them. The person I'm talking to was one that believed in the Tampa Bay Bucs and Baker Mayfield, but most didn't. And most looked at this as, for you, hey, if this doesn't go well, Baker Mayfield, the starting NFL quarterback, we might have seen the last of that. I know you're a guy that's overcome at your walk-on twice. You've overcome adversity. But what was your confidence level headed into this year, and what was the nerves level when this thing you've worked for your entire life seemed to, I don't want to say be slipping away, but that you didn't necessarily have a firm grasp on?
For me, just the opportunity to actually get to pick where I was going was the first step in feeling like, okay, I get to control this in a world that obviously the NFL has a lot of uncontrollable circumstances and variables. So get to control where I'm going to go, and understanding the head coaches there, the pieces that are around, a lot of the guys that had success in these deep playoff runs and even a Super Bowl run with a lot of the same faces. So I believed in it. I didn't have a doubt in my mind that I just needed a fresh start with somewhere that believed in me, and I could do the rest.
All right, I have to ask you one more question looking back. Now that you're to the other side of it, do you regret playing through injury, what ended up being your last year in Cleveland? Do you ever think about that if after that, I don't know if it was week 3 or 4, that you got your shoulder torn up, which was the first of a handful of injuries, if you would have just had surgery like you could have, and how your career would have gone differently, how that time would have gone differently? Do you regret choosing to play through that?
I don't. I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. I'm stubborn as hell. Yep. Popped the shoulder out, I think in week 2 or 3, yeah. And just, I wanted to be out there for the guys. I'm an ultimate competitor. I knew that from the year that we ended with 2020 with those guys losing in the divisional round in Kansas City, that if I could just get to a point where I could be similar to what I was playing like, that we could make another run. Obviously, it wasn't the case, but like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason, and it's gotten me to this point. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I wouldn't change any of those lessons that I've learned along the way, because it's made me a better person.
Baker, I'm going to ask you a weird question. Can you describe the Baker Mayfield it factor? Where, I'll give you, like, Tristan Wirfs was like, you know what? Tom was Tom, but I can go grab a beer with Baker, and that seemed to, like, actually show up on the field. And I'll give you this other example. When Amon-Ra St. Brown, during the Lions game, I'm like, oh, he's hitting the Baker Mayfield dance. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of like trash talk. But then in the Pro Bowl, here you guys are again, hitting the Baker Mayfield dance. So can you describe some of your intangibles that make you either so likable, and how that translates to success on the field?
Now, one, I didn't even know that I had a name for it. I don't know if I should necessarily claim that dance. No, but for me, football is the ultimate team sport, and I think the quarterback position obviously gets a lot of credit for success and a lot of blame if you don't have success, and that comes with the territory. But I think just being who I am, being kind of a little man syndrome quarterback that's always playing with fire, you want to be one of the guys. You want to be embraced in the locker room. You want to be passionate about it. So. And the one thing I've always thought is so interesting is how people are wired, what makes them tick, and understanding you got to get to know people on a personal level from there, and truly caring about who they are as people, not just players, not trying to get something out of them, but trying to impact their lives in a better way. And so for me, it's just I've always become best friends with my teammates, and it's always been natural and something I'm passionate about.
All right, Baker, quickly here. You now join Patrick Mahomes as one of the only 2-time guests on First Things First. We had you on 5 years ago at a Super Bowl. We only have, I think, one 3-time guest in the history of the show. I know you have an expanding family. I know you have busy offseason. If you're in New York City, at some point, can you join the 3-timer club and join us in studio, break down some either draft or football or something?
That would be nice. I love New York City, so yeah, I'll stop in, say hi to the guys.
All right, that sounds
there
great.
We go.
Man.
I absolutely appreciate that, Baker.
Excellent. Any questions about Kyle Trask? Or you
No, we gotta go.
Okay. Baker Mayfield, everybody. Thank you, Big
Kyle's a good dude.
Yeah, there you
Thanks,
go.
Baker.
He's a good backup.
Thank you.
All right, Baker.
Thanks, Baker.
Peace, man.
Have a great week. We'll see you guys.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.